And good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. What a weekend. What a weekend. What a weekend. Welcome. Makers Movers Podcast, January 12th, 2026. Folks, we're in for a treat today. First up, there's probably only going to be a handful of you here today because we're on the second channel. And why is that? Well, that's because the main channel got hijacked over the weekend. And we're still going back and forth with YouTube to see what we can do to, even if there's a chance we can get it back. So, with that, yeah, we have our work cut out for us. If anything, this is why I've said to never put your eggs all in one basket because things happen. And this happened and it sucks. But what can you do to help? Share, 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 share. That's what you can do to help. We'll continue our journey. We will continue to do things that we always do. You can find us here. You can find us over on all the other socials. But yeah, we're gonna keep pushing right along with stuff and get into it. So, it's first time here, long time here, and know who you are, where you're from, what's in your cup, and what the weather is like in your area, and then your five things. What are five things that you are going to accomplish today? Now for us, we've got a lot. Mondays are typical busier days from stuff that comes in from the weekend, so we have those things, and then we've we patiently monitoring email, waiting to hear back from YouTube. But on top of that, we've got some new ad sets that we're working on. Kind of put an extra hustle into getting the group built out today. We've got quotes and product sourcing and product to supply or supplies to order. So we've got a pretty heads up busy day for us. And then, like I said, we know it's gonna be a light show, but make that interaction. I don't even know what my shirt says. What does it say? I'm not. What does it say? I'm not mean. I'm just way too old to pretend I like you. Oh, this was a gift from Sarah Rister, so she must know me well. I didn't even realize what it was. You ever do that? Like, how many of you get dressed in the dark and you just grab something and put it on? That's what I do every morning. I have a stack, and I was like, oh, that's a hoodie, and I didn't even pay attention. Didn't even pay attention to what it said on it. So yeah, you want to help us out? Get this moving. Get this moving out to people. Help us out. We'll go from there with it. And yeah, because like right now, Rhinestone World YouTube gone. Gone, gone, gone. We're still trying to figure out the logistics of the rest of it because it could be a chance where YouTube comes back today because we've been going back and forth with them. Which no, like you would think that there would be an easy way to do it, and there's not. There's not a hey, reach out to this person or reach out here or do any of that. No, it was go through Twitter and find a response form for them, and then you have to do this stuff for them, and then they'll send you a special link to be able to fill stuff out and go from there. And so they did that. They requested some information. We got that back to them, within 10 minutes of them sending that, and then heard back. They had a few more questions, and that email came through at like 2 a.m. Sunday morning. Replied to them at 2:30 Sunday morning with that, and just heard back from them that they've handed everything over to the internal investigation team, and they'll update us when we're updated. So I don't know where exactly things are going to end up. We don't know if it'll be here. We don't know if it'll be a private Zoom. It could be we're looking at the options for it. Whether most likely we think it's through this week it's going to be a private webinar, whether it's done through Zoom or through a StreamYard webinar. So the biggest thing is any of that information, like it was YouTube didn't give any of it up. So the customer list, everything was in there. You couldn't really export it out. So they did the best with the information that we have. We did best having all the content that we have back and up. So yeah, we are we're we're struggling, man. It's a struggle fest this morning to go through it. We're just gonna continue on, go through it. That's why, what are we gonna talk? How can I how can I prep? Like how can I get my energy back? And it's like getting back into this. Like we still got a business to run. We still got everything else is still going. Lost one thing. Okay. Well, let's move on from it and see what we can do because we've still got other platforms, other systems, and most importantly, other customers we got to take care of. So we just can't sit back and dwell. We got to keep working. Got to keep working on it. So, today. What are we talking about today? Systems, 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 systems. Because besides this, January can really mess with people because it can feel quiet in a way that just doesn't feel right. Because December tells you exactly what to do. Orders come in, deadlines exist, urgency is there. January takes away a lot of that. And it gives you something that's hard to deal with. Choice, right? You can choose to build, you can choose to rest, you can choose to panic. And a lot of us, we bounce back and forth between that all in the same day. Am I wrong or am I right? You let me know. Am I wrong or am I right? Uh, you know, uh, I think the real reason that January feels, can feel uncomfortable isn't because things have slowed down. It's just because this is a month where you actually can see how much of your business runs on those last minute decisions. When things are busy, chaos really does, hide behind productivity. And when things slow down, yeah, those cracks really do become obvious. So, we're gonna talk about doing more. We're gonna, talk about doing things once that are gonna save us from repeating that same stress all year long. I know work's not that stuff is not the glamorous fun stuff. It's not the Instagram post worthy things, but it is the kind of prep that really does make future busy seasons feel controlled instead of chaotic. So before we get into it, let's check in and see how people are doing. Oh, I guess I need to turn those comments on, and then we can get in there with it. Renee, good morning. Oh, yeah. Can I just say that? Who you are, where you're from, what's in the cup, 5 things? Yeah, yeah. I did that. Chicagoland, where it's 21 on the way to 40, water in the bottle, same thing, and the cardiac bears it again. Renee, I told you, right? Watching that game, I told you. Like, we're not worried about it. We're not worried about it. We're not, we'll just see how it comes. And like, I would, going to the playoffs, awesome. Going to the playoffs, losing the Packers, waste of a season, fire everybody, right? Like, I think that's the typical Bear fan mentality. We could, have the worst season and only have 2 wins. And if those 2 wins were against the Packers, it was a successful season. We could have the best season and have 2 losses, all season, and those 2 losses are against the Packers. It's a failure of a season. So to be able to do what we did, I mean, I guess we just need to sit out the whole game and come in the last couple minutes. I don't know. It was a great game. Great weekend of football. Great weekend of football. And now the Rams come. So what are we gonna do? Are we gonna play a full game or just 2 minutes? I don't know. I don't know. But it's a stressful time in our life. What my favorite thing is seeing all the new Bears fans. Like this is new territory to us. It's been what 15 years since we did this. So yeah, like congratulations to us. I think we deserve it. So, Tim, good morning to you. Keith, good morning from the sunny Space Coast. Coffee in the cup. Let's see. Jose, good morning. We're working through that. So we're working through those things today, and everybody that we can, that we have info for, we'll post it. Like I said, it's either going to end up being, um, because I don't think the group is going to be able to do what we needed to do quite yet for it. But I know in our other options are both here, still through StreamYard and using it as a live webinar, or Zoom as a live webinar and getting those out. So that's what we're going to meet with the team on and go from there for it. And yeah, that's what we're figuring out, Keith. We're going through it. Good morning to you, to this old helmet. Hashtag the post bat in the cave, brother. Is it? No, it's just me. It's just me hair. It's my hair. It's just my hair. I got white hair, man. It always looks right there. See, it's just hair. I go for a haircut this week, so we'll get it there. Let's see. Let's see what else we have for Jeff. Good morning to you. Hey, we're here. We're doing what we do, and this is why I say you got to have backups. You got to know what's going on. I always be transparent with you guys. This type of things happen, and putting all your eggs in one basket. Could you imagine if the only platform you had was YouTube and one single channel and it just went away? Good thing we have other ones there for it. And good morning to you, Raja. We're here. Anybody that is in the membership, what you can do is because we don't know. They said the chances are pretty good we should get everything back, but you can go into your settings and you can, because it should be paused. Everything should be paused in there. That part got taken care of because we did get the channel taken down, so that was a plus. Um, but if you go into your membership settings, I do believe you can do a refund for this last billing. So, like, you get billed on the 10th, you should be able to hit that, and it takes that last one away. Yeah, my mentor got everything shut down on Facebook for over a week. He's a religious mentor, God, not a harsh word at all. And sometimes it just takes people, just reporting and doing things like that. Ours was just hijacked, and it was not being able to do anything was the worst because it wasn't available. And then we started seeing stuff. And by the time it was already too late, and that's just what it was. So what did we do? We just started going right here, and we made sure we tried to get as much content as we have, and we'll just rebuild. That's all we can do. Yeah, if you just head over to the Makers and Movers, I posted that over in Facebook on the page. That's there for it. There's the link for it. The link that you're watching here, it should be in it. What I will do is I'm going to make sure to post. I'll post the link to the page, and we'll send out an email. We'll make a post. We'll make sure over there. Rams are not looking great. Should be a good game. Nobody, we don't look great until the last few minutes. Like it just is there. Just like the Lions pass through. Now they're gone. Hey, we're we are what we are. We'll see what happens. Mary Alice, good morning. 38 there in Mobile, Alabama. Sunshine and a white Russian in the cup. Nice. Today is my birthday and I deserve it. I think you deserve that any there. Uh, Only asking because I see the YouTube symbol on some people's comments. Yeah, and it's because the platform that we use allows us to put everything in there. Like we're still going through, two of the YouTube or one of the YouTubes, two of the Facebooks, and the Twitch. So, yeah, we're still putting things through there. Makers and Movers channel still rocking and rolling, so we can do that. Renee's 5 things: set up new yearly planner, work on tax prep, therapy, 3D printing, CAD training. Love it, love it, love it. And Mary Ellen, happy birthday, Mary Ellen. That's right. Happy birthday. Great choice to start. I think so too. Yeah, you can just cancel that. I would give it a few days because there's a chance that we could have everything worked out, resolved this week, and then we're back in, and then we don't have to do anything. So yeah, we're just kind of in a hold pattern right now for it. And once we know more, we will let everybody know. Okay, number one. Templates, templates. They're not just about energy. They're about they're take that back. They're not just about efficiency. They're about energy. Because let's face it, when a lot of people hear the word templates, they think, oh, this is a productivity hack. Faster posting. Quicker emails, more output. But is that really the real benefit? To me, I think the real benefit is the energy conservation side of it. You know, Templates really do remove the need to think when you're already tired of thinking. During busy seasons, you don't run out of time first, right? What do you run out of first? Well, at least me, it's patience, right? We get short, we get hesitant, second guessing wording. You reword or rewrite, reread, re something the same sentence 6 times. And that really is decision fatigue, not laziness. And templates will really help eliminate that. You know, I think some of the biggest mistakes that a lot of makers make is trying to create templates, during a busy season. That's when everything really starts to feel urgent and emotional. And right now, January's different. You're calmer. You can write clearly. You can decide what you actually want to say, and not feel just reactive to that moment. Now, templates don't lock you in. They just give you that starting point. So you're never creating from scratch under pressure. So some examples of this, is a maker writes 5 template captions or 5 caption templates, template captions. They write 5 captions, and realizes that, you know, they've been saying, the same thing over and over anyway, just more stressed out each time. All right, now we have a cool, calm, clear message each time with it. Another one, I created 3 email structures, and suddenly, email marketing, stops feeling heavy. Just simple things. So, action step for this is let's just write one template this week. That future you would be relieved to just be able to copy and paste. All right. Scripts. Oh, I see a comment. Let me get in here because I'm gonna do a little, let's see if this comment will post in here and I can show it and you can go for it because Makers and Movers. I'm gonna go to the channel and let's see, channel. We'll put this link right in here so we actually have the full one through it, and then you'll be able to see and go from there. So let me find that and put it in here, so that way you can go there. But they can hear Corey coughing, so they said, good morning. Imagine that Corey just likes to cough, right? She likes to make her presence known little by little on it. But right here, Makers Movers, go find us at Makers and Movers. That's where you can find us right there. There's the right click, copy, paste. Do that, and you then will be able to see you and do all the things that need to be done. But like I said, the biggest thing is your help, getting out there, spreading the word, getting the thing over here. We're not going to change any of the stuff here yet to the rhinestone world. We're going to wait and see how it all plays out before we do this, and then we'll start up another one for the other thing, and then go from there. All right. Okay. Number two, scripts. Let's talk about how scripts and how by using them you really do stop negotiating with yourself. Most stress-filled conversations, I don't think they're actually about the customers. They're about that internal debate. Do I say yes? Do I say no? Do I explain more? Do I explain less? Do I just bend this one time, or do I stay firm? And scripts, they can really help remove that debate with yourself. When you don't have scripts, every message can feel like that that struggle, right? That struggle to make a decision. You worry about sounding rude. You wonder if this sounds professional. You think about past reactions. And that mental back and forth, dude, that's exhausting. All right, especially when you're already busy. So, like right now is the best time to write scripts because no one is pushing you right now, right? You're not defensive, you're not rushed, and you really can decide what your business sounds like on purpose. Just not emotionally this time. And scripts don't make you all robotic; they just make you consistent, and that really does build trust with customers, and confidence in yourself with it. So some examples of this is a decorator wrote a rush-free script and stops apologizing every time they use it. And another one created a turnaround response that immediately reduces the follow-up questions. So for this, can we identify one message that just always drains you, and then just write out a response once, calmly. That's all we got to do. All right, number three, you know, bundles reduce decision. Right? What does that mean? Well, when we're selling everything piece by piece, it can feel super flexible, right? But it does create hidden work. It creates more questions. More explaining, more. Hey, can I mix this with that or get this together? And bundles can really simplify decisions for customer and reduce that mental load for you. Now, what we've seen is the mistake that people make is thinking that their bundles have to be super complicated or really restrictive. That's what they don't, right? The best bundles, they just reflect what people are already buying together. Then you're just naming it and you're going to package it differently. You know, January. January is the time when you can spend to really think about those bundles. And there's no sales pressure with it. You can think logically instead of emotionally. You can ask, what makes sense? What will close the sale? And bundles aren't necessarily about upselling. It's just about creating, some clarity with it. So, examples of this is, we know people who create spiritware bundles. Instead of having everything there, here's a bundle. Here's your T-shirt. Here's your hoodie. Here's your hat. Pretty simple, right? T-shirt, hoodie, hat. Just one T-shirt, hoodie bundle. Great. That's what you can do. You can bundle up together for it. And then another one will do, like transfer wise. Hey, here's a transfer. Do you need shirts? Do you need whatever with it? They're finishing. They are a finished supplier. So what do you need for it? We'll create the bundle. You want this plus that? Oh, I mean, we have it. We have it on our site as kits. Where we have, like the one we sold a lot of this weekend was the tool kit. So I had everything in there. So you buy them individually, or you buy the kit and you get it all together. Save some money on it. So for this, let's just write down, just one bundle idea, and that you think will do good this year, and can help increase things. Okay, before we get into 4 or 5, let's check back in there because I think what else do we have in here? Just got here, Rustline, thanks for joining us. Heather, hello to you. Barb, hello. Hello, Barb. Hello, Renee. I think we got everything. And like I said, together, we will get this. We'll get through this together. That's what we're going to do because, hey, right? We'll get through it. We'll get through it. All right. Number 4. If you do seasonal prep now, that's really how you stop feeling behind all year long. So, you know, early or every season, maybe it's just me, but every season, that we start preparing for things, it feels early until it's suddenly too late. Like Valentine's Day is, is a month out. Oh, spring sports season, it's 2 months out. Graduation, 4 months out. So, fundraisers, that's all year. The stress isn't the season of things. It's just a scramble to try and get everything done. In January can be the month where you can prep for the year without the urgency of the chaos of everything going on. You're not designing things at midnight or trying to put packages together. You're not seeing your competitors post first about things. You're not rushing because somebody else is already selling it. Prepping those things now, it doesn't mean that you're committing to anything. It just means that when you're ready, you have options, and those options really can reduce the panic. So examples of this is, designing spring graphics now, so that way they're ready to go in March. Creating reusable promo graphics now that you can use all year long. Swap out some text on it. Still the good thing. So depending on your business, how things are and how things look, for this, let's just pick out something upcoming season, right? We got spring coming up. You know, what's one thing that you can prep for now to be ready for it then? All right. Now, number 5 is systems decide whether growth feels heavy or sustainable, right? Well, growth growth can feel super exciting till it feels suffocating, right? Systems are not just control. They're removing that unnecessary friction. They decide whether growth feels like momentum or misery. When decisions are made ahead of time, what happens? Gives you a time to relax, gives your brain a time to relax. You stop reacting to everything and you start responding. And that really can, change how you experience your business in the day to day. You know, January, yeah, that's where we can choose how much weight are we going to put on ourselves this year, not just here, but here. All right. So, some examples of this is, a maker who built systems in January. They handled spring orders without panic. Another business owner realized that stress dropped dramatically once decisions were pre-made. So, for this, okay, so all you gotta do is finish the sentence. If I build this once now, I'd stop stressing about blank all year. So, what's something that you can build now that will help you from stressing all year long? So, recap all of this. You know, templates, they save energy. Scripts, they will protect your boundaries. Bundles, simplify decisions. Seasonal prep prevents panic, and systems make growth sustainable. So take the time in January. It's not, you're not all speed and crazy and things. Now it's time to work on some of the structure of your business. You don't need to do it every month. You just need to do the right things once. And January isn't slow because your business is weak. It's slow because it's slow. It's giving you room to build. so we can build the systems now so the busy seasons don't own us later. Build it now, use it all year. That, my friends, is what we have for you. Makers and Movers podcast, January 12th edition. Any questions, comments, concerns before we move on? Like I said, we'll continuously put the information out there to make sure that people get to this channel, because that's where at least, the podcast and stuff has been, will be, continue to be there. We keep you updated on the other channel with it. If you are in, any of the memberships, keep an eye on your email, because we're going through options today on what we can do and how we can do it. So that way we can get that information out to you guys. It might be where it has to take a break for a little while we reset, whether we reset back here on this channel, whether we reset in the new group, or complete something or do something completely different. So just bear with us. We'll keep everything rocking and rolling with you guys. So until next time, you guys have an amazing day. Peace, love, press on, and we will see you then.